All right, let's go. Welcome to eCom Raw Reality episode 11, where we will chat about AI. And that is because right now, during this time, so when I'm actually filming this, March 27th, a couple of days ago, actually, OpenAI has released a new type of model, a new image generation tool. And right now, almost everyone is converting their pictures from their real life ones to a Ghibli style. I think that's how you pronounce it. So it's an anime, very old one from Japan. It's a studio and they do have a specific style. And the thing is that actually made me wonder about something, because in most cases we do want to get more efficient, to get more resources, to have better results over time, right? And in this series, usually we talk about ecom, right? E-commerce, which isn't necessarily sometimes as sexy or creative as many other industries out there. That's why actually not many people are actually in ecom, or rarely actually say that it's a wonderful place, because it is pretty hard. However, I do want us to focus on three things regarding AI, because right now, during this time, we are definitely going through some kind of AI revolution, and whoever is able to use AI in the most effective way for them, for their business, for the people around them, those will definitely win. And I don't think AI is taking anyone's job. It's basically just giving us, people like us who are using AI, if we are using it, the opportunity to just get things done faster, better. And with that also comes more free time for us, right? So let's look at three things, because I do have here a list. I want to make this pretty short, to the point, and focus on the main things that we should be focusing on, right? So very high level. And the first thing is automation, or in other words, efficiency, right? Because in some cases, you know how to do something, but it just takes time, right? For example, could I launch 500 ads in a day? I might, but it would take me a lot of time doing it manually. And this applies with everything, even grocery shopping. Are you still doing your groceries, or are you actually automating that, right? Either by someone maybe bringing your food, either cooked or not cooked, home. And then same when you need to go from place A to place B, right? From point A to point B. Do you drive yourself? Do you actually use that brain power, or do you get an Uber, a taxi, or anything like that? And all of those small things do matter, right? Because why does someone's time, in terms of the value of dollars, is maybe $5 an hour, right? While for someone like Elon Musk, to go in the other extreme, it's probably at least 1 million an hour, and probably even more, right? Because, for example, 1 hour of just thinking and making a decision that makes Tesla maybe 1% more efficient, that actually means at this point, let me think, over 10 million. Over 10 million for sure, because of the market cap. So, not to get too technical here, but this is where it's super important to automate, to get things done as efficiently as possible in the least amount of time. And then the second thing, because let's say we automate a lot of things, but the second thing is not efficiency, but effectiveness. Because by effectiveness, it's the same as when you are, let's say, an entrepreneur, if you own an agency or whatever else of a business you own, or even if you are an employee, right? But a more senior one. When you have a junior, right? Or as an entrepreneur, you have an employee. In most cases, that person won't do the same job as you, meaning that in many cases, they will do it worse than you, at least in the beginning, especially if they're not as well experienced in and versed in what they are doing. So the main thing here is that by effectiveness, we're looking at how well something is done. What's the result, right? Because I think anyone can do what I do, like the YouTube videos. media buying, having calls with clients, with potential clients, making tens of thousands of dollars a day on paid ads, or thousands with every email that might take sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes maybe an hour or two, because there needs to be designs and so on, or a few hours, a few days, right? So all of those things I know anyone else can do, right? Like I can teach anyone in a couple of hours or days max how to do it, right? It's not as much about the how nowadays. But this is where it really depends on how well something is done. Is it 80% done as well, 90%, 100%, right? Because, for example, if you can improve your communication 10% each year, if you can improve your videos 10% each year, eventually, of course, you'll grow, right? Like any business. If you grow it 10% a year, it will be pretty slow, honestly. That's why ideally in the beginning you grow it faster. But if you always grow it, then it's impossible not to get like rich, a high valuation, to have more passive income. So basically whatever you're looking for, right? If you always improve what you're doing, it's impossible not to make progress, because that's basically progress. So the numbers can't go down if they go up, right? It's logic, first grade logic. So the thing is that we should try to use AI to automate as much as possible, and then of course also try to get better results, because in some cases, I mean, right now as an example, I can't code. I can't code for the life of it. Like I would have to spend years, and I also wouldn't like it to actually learn that, right? However, if I know what to ask to some extent, I could get Claude, ChatGPT, whatever model is out there, to do the same thing basically in front of me, right? Like in real time, and with 100%, not 100%, maybe 10 times or 100 times faster than a human could, right? And that's where you get these proportional results. When you get a 10x on one end, and then maybe you get a 10x on the other end, right? Like, for example, think of it like this. You write copy 10 times faster, you do designs 10 times faster, you implement 10 times faster, right? So you get a multiplier each time, and that's how you get from like a speed of 1, 2, 3 to 10, 100, 1000, right? So it's multiplied, and that's where you get outsized returns. And the last thing, let's say that you've automated, you've got things effective, right? And then the third part, which is probably the most important in most cases over time for innovation to actually happen, and that is to basically innovate. And in order to innovate, sometimes we just need free time. That's all we need. So not having to work, not having to think about getting on a call, about doing some work, because at one point, of course, a lot of people out there become millionaires in the tens, in the hundreds, maybe billionaires, right? And at that point, you don't really need to work anymore, right? I mean, if you put your money in dividend, let's say stock, ETF, and so on, or buy properties, you would have enough passive income to live off it without ever working again, right? So at that point, you will try to find other things to satisfy you, right? Because work is usually what for most of us actually satisfies our need to learn, to make progress, to help other people, right? Because basically everything in business is about helping other people, about assisting them in building things for other people, right? So it's all connected to other people. And this is where it's really important to use AI in order to automate what we do, to make it even more effective, and then have more free time to maybe spend time with other people if you are more extroverted, right? But for example, for people like me, I wouldn't be able to sit all day with other people, right? Maybe just if it's about business, but still that's like what I would prefer to see. Progress, right? Learning new things, feeling like I'm making progress myself, and helping either businesses or people around me do the same thing. So that's why it's really important sometimes to think, because you need that free time when there's nothing on your mind. You're just like listening to a video like this, right? And just while listening without any stress, eventually you get an idea. You connect the dots. You listen to me, for example, and try to think while I'm talking. You are trying to connect some of the things that I'm mentioning with what goes through your life right now, right? For example, what could you automate? What could you make better, right? And sometimes it's a gamble, a risk, right? I mean, this is what business is. For example, if you get Claude Pro, ChatGPT Pro, right? You pay an amount of money. Do you get a ROI on that? You don't know, right? Sometimes it's hard to quantify. For example, if you go on a vacation, can you quantify how helpful that vacation is? Not really. So some things are just unquantifiable, and that's all right, because we have free time. I mean, I wouldn't shoot this video if I didn't have free time. If I would need to always work on, let's say, client work or getting clients and so on, or yeah, just like doing the hammer work. You don't always need to do the work. Sometimes you just need to sit back and think about what to do next, right? Because that's how innovation actually happens. You are in the shower, you are out for a walk, and you just connect the dots, and that's when, in most cases, we make the biggest changes, when there's also some discomfort and we need to solve something, but also when we have a problem, right? So ideally we do have a problem, or the world has a problem, and of course, as we know, it has it more than enough. And then when we just think about them, right, when we are not as stressed, then it's easier for our mind to make some connections and try to connect one thing that you heard on a podcast with another thing you heard on a YouTube video to basically your life. And that's how we usually solve issues over time and come up with new ideas. So that's pretty much it for this one. AI was on my mind, so I wanted to make a video about this. And if you haven't tried that prompt on ChatGPT with actually making yourself some kind of Ghibli art out of your picture, then you can try it. The prompt that you would have to use is convert this picture to Ghibli style. That would be it. And then of course attaching an image. So that's pretty much it. And if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed listening, you can leave a like, just so we can slowly grow this channel, more listeners, more interactions, and so on. So if you want to leave a feedback, I mean a comment, you can do that. And until next time, peace out.